Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some more of the stocks in the cannabis sector. So first up, let's look at the marijuana index. This is the North American index here. You can see this is the one-day chart, and check out the big spike when the news came out with Jeff Sessions. It started off down here at 305 and spiked all the way up here to 323. So big move. Yeah, this was a 5% move for the North American index. You can see here the United States index had a huge spike as well, and so this is getting the index cooking here. You can see it's set up for a potential breakout. This is the 1-year chart, and so you see it's hitting the double top level. And so what we want to see now is a breakout above resistance. It has a little ways to go for the North American index, and you can see the Canadian index on the 1-year chart. It has a ways to go to its high level. It pulled back quite a bit, so it has some room to go. But as you can see, the United States index is getting ready to break out, and the Jeff Sessions news today is a good catalyst for investors to start taking a closer look at the sector. So let's take a look here at ticker symbol NBEV. We're going to look at some of the cannabis beverage companies here, and as you can see, RSI is back above 50. It's at 51, so it needs to stay above 50. Fasto's at 49. You want to see that get above 50. Got a bullish crossover here on ADX with the green line plus DI crossing over the red line minus DI. So this 50-day simple moving average level, it's the green line at 459. It's been trying to hold that level. Today it closed back above and above EMA's 4, 8, and 13. That's the pink, lime, and orange lines. And so as long as those 4 levels hold, NBEV is in play for the bounce. If it does drop below 450 here, that's going to signal downside risk. It needs to hold these moving averages. If it gets back below, it's going to signal more consolidation. Now, in order to head higher, the next key level to break is this middle Bollinger Band. It's hitting that level right now. That it broke it intraday and pulled back. That's currently at 514. So if it can get above 514, you want to see a break above 550. That's this descending resistance line in the current downtrending channel, and that could get it heading back up to these previous levels. So tomorrow, the big levels, that middle Bollinger Band at 514, a close above would be bullish, signaling the possible start of a new uptrend. Similar to back here, you can see where it finally closed above the middle Bollinger Band right here on the first trading day of September after trading below the dotted purple line, and that signaled the start of the uptrend. And so that's what you're looking for now with this setup. You can see MACD already had a bullish crossover on the 8, 13, and 5. You want to see the 12, 26, and 9 crossover as well. If you look at the 15-minute chart here for NBEV, you can see it's been filling the jar back to previous levels. It came up today and it hit this resistance zone from back here and the October the 23rd, and so it's going to need to break this 540 resistance zone. If it can break above that, then you have this level from back here on the 19th, which is up here around 590, and then above that, that's the 630 level. So it looks like it's working its way back up to those levels. It's currently above all the moving averages. If it were to drop below EMA 4 at 503, it could come back down here, test the 400 simple moving average. As long as that level holds at 468, it should continue pushing higher. Notice how it had this triangle type pattern here, and it broke out above resistance. That was signaling more upside potential on the candle here going into the close today. Also, look at the big volume that came in. Big volume spike pushing it higher. So let's look at DTEA here. David's T. It's heating up. You want to see RSI get above 50. Fasto's back above 50. Check out how the green line here plus DI is crossing over the black line ADX. That's a signal the bulls are heating up. Today there was a bullish close above the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 247. That is the key level to hold. As long as that level holds, DTEA is in play. Okay, if it drops back below, that's going to signal downside risk. It needs to hold. Also, it's all about staying above that middle Bollinger Band. If it were to drop below, it's going to signal it's not ready to go. More consolidation, and if it dropped below EMA EMA's 4, 8, and 13 here. 234 is the low moving average. That would be signaling the chart's broken. You can see when it gets below EMA 4, it really gets moving lower, so it's a risk to be long with that setup. Now to the upside, if this 250 support zone holds, what you're looking for is a run back up to this 50-day simple moving average at 280. That will be the next target. That'll be the next key level to break above. Okay, you have a MACD bullish crossover on the 12, 26, and 9, and there was already a crossover on the 8, 13, and 5. These are both signals that the chart is heating up and there's a possible start of a new uptrend. If you look at David's T here on the 30-minute chart, this is like a 20-day, 30-minute chart. You can see here it got above the 300 simple moving average. That's currently at 251. Once again, there's that 250 level. It's just really all about turning 250 into support, getting above the black line. That's the 400 simple moving average at 259. Getting above 260, and then it could head possibly back up into the threes. Notice how there was big volume behind the move today, and also look at that volume back here on the 31st. There's that giant volume spike, and then more volume. It started pushing higher after that. So really, I think this was right at the close on the 31st, and this is what we call front loading. This is the people were taking positions before the breakout higher. That's exactly what you want to see on the bottom. Similar to look back here on the 12th, it's the inverse of this move. Notice how this is the top. Okay, so you have the volume spike at the top. Traders, locked in gains, headed all the way down. Well, they got the shares much cheaper down here, and so they were able to buy more. And so you can see that it looks like it's the re-entry down here for the next push higher. Always follow the volume bars. Big players like to hide their cards, but they can't hide the volume, and so we can follow the big players by following the volume bars. Okay, so let's look at NEPT here. It closed up 4%, so keep an eye on this one. It could get moving. It looks like it's heating up, and so this is one that has yet to run, and so let's see if it can get going. It needs to get RSI above 50. Fasto closed above 50. Plus DI is way down here. It has a lot of work to do, so keep an eye on it. You want that green line to spike and cross over the black and the red lines to signal the chart is heating up. Okay, so right now it's hitting the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 394. That's going to be the big level to break. That's the dotted purple line. If you can get above that level and then get above the green line, the 50-day simple moving average at 408, then it could get running. It could possibly run back up to 470 and test that high close from September. Now, it closed today. The reason why I put it in the video, it did close today above EMA's 4, 8, and 13, the lime, pink, and orange lines. It's the first close above EMA 13 since back here, before the drop and before all the consolidation in the last couple of weeks. So that's our clue that it's heating up. Now it just has to follow through and get above that middle Bollinger Band, break into the fours. Trading in the fours tomorrow would be bullish. It's set up with the P-SARF bull flip. See how the green dots are getting close to flipping below the candles. Look at the volume. Volume is light. What you want to see is a bullish volume spike, a volume spike that's bigger than that's above this green line, above the previous volume bars, and then a break above resistance, and that'll be a signal that NEPT is in play. And then look for a bullish crossover here on MACD on the 12, 26, and 9. And then if we look here at HYYDF, this is Hexo Corporation. This trades over the counter. This is a very high quality cannabis beverage company, and as you can see here, it's back above 50 on RSI. Needs to hold that level. RSI or Fasto up here at 74. Plus DI still hasn't heated up. It's still, you got to get that green line above that red and black line. But there has been a huge bounce off of the 200-day simple moving average. That's the red line down here at $4. That level held, and it's worked its way all the way back above the middle Bollinger Band. That's the key level to hold at 513. If it were to drop below that level, that would signal consolidation. It needs to hold, and the next level to break is the green line, the 50-day simple moving average at 566. If it can get above that level, it should be able to get moving again and trade back into the sixes. You have the high close here from October the 8th, right below $7, which is the big level to break. That that would be the upside target if it could turn the 50-day simple moving average into support. It's just all about holding the middle Bollinger Band at 513 and breaking that 50-day simple moving average at 566. Notice you did have the PSAR bull flip yesterday. The green dots are now below the candles, and then keep in mind it is on a multi-day run, multiple green volume bars in a row. So at some point it will take a breather. There was a bullish crossover on MACD yesterday, and there was one last week on the 1226 and 9, and there was one last week on the 813 and 5. So it's everything is signaling the possible start of a new uptrend. It just has to hold that middle Bollinger Band and break the 50-day simple moving average. And then finally, let's look at IGCC here. It closed up 22%. Keep an eye on this one. It's been delisted down to the OTC. Got really hammered. You could see here it was trading up here on the big boards. They delisted it. It came down here. It actually got the nice bounce. And then I threw it in the video today because it closed above EMA4, the pink line, for the first time since back here before this downtrend started on the 15th. You could see it was above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line. It had traced back to that level, and then it closed below, and that signaled the start of the downtrend. Well, this is the first close above that level since back here before the downtrend started. So that gives us a clue that it's heating up, and they could take it higher. It held the key moving averages here. It was holding the 200 and 300 day simple moving averages, the red and the blue lines. If it can get above the EMA 8 at 153, look for a run up here to the 100-day simple moving average in EMA 13 between 180 and $2. That will be the next big level to break above. Yeah, keep in mind it does have the gap on the chart, and the gap is unfilled. So you have a gap up here. This is the top of the gap, this red line, and the bottom of the gap is down here. You go by the high on the candle for the bottom of the gap and the low on the candle for the top of the gap. Okay, and so I went with this because this is a 4-price doji. It looks like it wasn't trading on that day, and then it dropped below. And so basically you could get a potential run up here to fill the gap if it can get above that 100-day simple moving average. Keep in mind, an upward gap fill many times is a climax event, and look at the volume bars. There's no volume behind this right now. But it was able to break resistance, so it seems like the selling pressure has eased. So keep an eye on it. They might take it higher. This is not a high quality stock, so just trade the chart, and don't hold if the 15-minute chart turns bearish, and just definitely, if you mess up on the 15-minute chart, just don't hold if it closes below EMA 4 at 130. That is deadly. So you're taking on a lot of risk if it closes below EMA 4 on the daily chart and you hold overnight. Okay, thanks a lot for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please come check out the chat. Thank you.